Welcome back to Calculus 1, and today, or at least this week, we will be looking at three formulae, so this week can be fairly easy, and we are going to be demonstrating these rules in practice. So let's start with the first rule of differentiation. So if we recall last week, you were taught the definition of the derivative, and then all these rules stem from that rule. So for example, the power rule just states if we have, these are used for mostly polynomials. So if I said the derivative of x to the fourth, this would be equal to 4x cubed, okay? So all I did is I took this power down and I decreased it by 1. And if we add another term, all we do is we just take the derivative of each separate term. So it would be 4x cubed plus 6x. And this would work the same for subtraction as well. So then we have the product rule, which states that the derivative of a product of two functions is equal to the derivative of one of them times the non-derivative, or the regular, if you want to call it that, plus the derivative of the other function that you did not take the derivative of in the first term times the one that you took the derivative of in the first term. Then the quotient rule is used when you take the quotient between two functions. And it is a little more, it's the most complicated out of the most common rules. So, but it's the same as the product rule. However, you change the minus and you divide it by g squared. Well, the bottom squared. And then we have a little mnemonic here, or I don't know what you would call it, but a memorization device called low d high minus high d low divided by low squared. Okay, so now we are ready for practice. We're going to find the derivative. So number one is f of x equals 2x squared plus 3x divided by x squared minus 4. So if we use our mnemonic, or whatever device we said, it's a low, d high, so multiplied by low. So let's write first f prime of x, like we learned last week. Let's be low, so x squared minus 4. Then d high, so we're going to do the derivative of the one on top. So it's going to be 4x plus 3 minus high, so it would be 2x squared plus 3x. Then d low, it's going to be 2x. And then we just want to do it all over low squared. So it's going to be x squared minus 4 squared. And then we could simplify it if we wanted to, but we do not have enough time to do that. So let's move on to the next one. All right, so we're going to use the same rule here as well. So it's going to be low, right? So it's going to be g prime of x is equal to low, so x squared plus 1, d high, and then the derivative of sine of x is cosine of x, minus high, so it's going to be sine of x, d low, and the derivative of the denominator is 2x. Then we'll divide that all by x squared plus 1, squared. So that is the quotient rule in practice, and the quotient rule is only used when you have a quotient of two functions. So now we have the demonstration of the product rule because we have a product of two different functions, in particular e to the x and 3x squared minus 5. So this is the fairly easy one. So we're going to take h prime of x, and then we're just going to take the derivative of one and then multiply it by the non-derivative of the other. So derivative of e to the x is e to the x times 3x squared minus 5. Plus, and then I took the derivative of e to the x on the first term, so I'm going to take the derivative of 3x squared minus 5 on the second, which is going to be 6x, and then e to the x. So that's going to be our derivative for that one. So for number 4, we have k of x is equal to ln of x times x cubed plus 1. And here's another case of the product rule. So it's going to be k prime of x is equal to, well, we'll take the derivative of 1, so the derivative of ln of x we'll do first. It's going to be 1 over x times the non-derivative of the other term, or the other product of the function, the other function in the product. Then we'll add the derivative of the other one that we didn't take the derivative of in the first term, and it's going to be 3x squared times ln of x. So that is pretty much it. It is pretty simple. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next week.